goes to Pontevedra, the city that I will show you on the way to Santiago. And then in that convent, she had a call, and she had an apparition of Virgin Mary saying to her, go back. And she comes back, but not to Coimbra. She comes, not to Fatima, she comes back to Coimbra, where she stays with the Carmelites, in a beautiful place. There used to be only beautiful homes in this area, as you can see, with the views of the city down to the right-hand side. And now we will start to see the convent on your left-hand side. So this is where Lucia was living, here. This one on the left-hand side. This is the, you see, this is the convent now. There are still nuns living here. They're still cloistered nuns, so we cannot visit, but they have their church, their chapel, where Mass is celebrated every day in the morning, and they open the doors to the outside people, to the population, and they stay in an area where they are not seen in the choir, so that they can also celebrate, but at the same time allow locals to join them for celebration. So now we're turning left, and this is, as you see now, a place it's possible to stop, but look on the left-hand side. We're going to see the church. The sideways is the church, and we're going slowly because there is, vamos depois agora devagarinho. We cannot stop, but Victor is going slowly. This is the, you see here, you see, devagarinho. Lucia, on the left-hand side, you see the tiles there? And you have Virgin Mary. A igreja está aberta, estou tramada. Se a gente parar bocadinho aqui.
Se ficar aqui, posso-vos deixar e...
Would you like to take a peek inside the church? We must be very quickly. Yeah? I don't know if they allowed us to go in, that's the problem. Because, you know, it's... I don't like to ask them because they cloistered and they have the door open, but probably because they have finished Mass. You see here, this is Lucia. This is Lucia here on the left-hand side. Sister Lucia.
I got a picture of the statue, Father. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, okay. Vamos devagarinho então, vamos devagarinho. They're really nice, the nuns, but only one of them is entitled to come to the door in the morning to open the door to residents. Then they just disappear. We don't see them. And the people, locals, go inside and celebrate. Irmã Lucia, Sister Lucia. E agora descemos pelo outro lado, não é?
Agora aqui, podemos ir ali abaixo na mesma e ir por cima.
Ah, tá bem.
Que é melhor, que a gente já sabe assim da cidade.
So this is where Lucia was. In front of us, this is a jail.
Jail?
Yes.
Oh, it looks like
Greece, and
church.
looks like a church and a little castle, right? Well, not very nice. No.
This is what?
A jail. It's a prison.
Okay, we can relate to that.
Looks like a church or a castle.
But these prisoners, you know, those common prisoners, skill and
We both worked in a prison system.
yeah.
So
Our penitentiary of Coimbra.
I don't think I'd want to be in any prisons. I don't
Look
want
at
to be in our
beautiful
prison.
houses. Look at this one here on the right hand side. Really beautiful.
This is
The ancients
beautiful.
from noble families that could afford to buy. We pass again by John Paul II. Now there's a view on the left hand side. You can see the Pope.
There's a lot of
Saímos ali por cima, é?
Pois, acho que agora já deu ali e depois entra logo.
because when the king and the queen, the court was here, it was noble families were always following the crown. They wanted to be close by.
You don't have a king or queen anymore, do you?
No, since 1910 we have a republic.
Okay. But are they still like just a name only?
On the right-hand side is a public garden. This is beautiful. It's a romantic garden. So it's that 1800s when romanticism was in fashion, and old Roman ruins were very fashionable, and Egypt with archaeological sites. So the gardens were really they were made like an old archaeological site, and nature somehow almost wild. Now we have a republic in Portugal since 1910. We had a monarchy since the very first king, Alfonso I. That was the very first Portuguese dynasty of kings, and it started in 1149. 1149, so 12th century. And the first dynasty is going to follow the same line, what we call it the Burgundy dynasty, because the first king was of that origin, coming from Burgundy, nowadays France. And it will be ending in 1383. And then we have the beginning of the second dynasty. This second dynasty is called the Avis, A-V-I-S. The first king is John, and he will be married with an English princess, Philip of Lancaster, and they will continue the dynasty. They were the parents of Henry the Navigator, and that was the dynasty of the Portuguese maritime navigation period. So our big voyages. And that dynasty is going to last from 1385 until 1580. In 1580, we lose our king, the heir of the throne, the king. He was killed in a battle in the north of Africa. And we have Spanish kings being crowned kings of Portugal. The Philips, Philip II, Philip III, and Philip IV. So we had this Philip dynasty, Habsburg dynasty, reigning Portugal from 1580 to 1640.
Question. Now, when a bunch of these old style buildings get damaged, do they have to be redone to keep the...
Yes.
Because I know some of the...
If they classify it, yes.
Yeah.
If they classify it buildings, yes.
Oh, okay.
Right, so now you know. And from 1640, we have the last dynasty called Bragança. And Bragança is going to be the last dynasty until 1910. In 1910, we have a revolution for a republic. And since 1910, 5th October 1910, that we have a republic. But the royal family, let's say that our royal family, they live in Portugal. They live close to Lisbon, in Sintra. They are well known, the Bragança family. Edward of Bragança is married to a noble lady, Isabel of Heredia, and they have 3 children. So if we would have a monarchy again, they would be the kings and queens. On the right hand side is one of the university hospitals. It's a school hospital. There are 3 school hospitals here for the faculty of medicine. Medicine is the longest course, 6 years. 6 years. Pharmacy, 5. So they're the longest courses we have. Now 6 years, and then they start working, but as how do you say interns? Yes. Thank you. That's it. And the first years after they finish their course, they are interns, but they have to go. Bless you, saúde. They have to go to areas where we have lack of doctors. So they practice the first year, 2 years of practice. They must go out of their big cities, and they have to go and help inland areas, small villages. We have special services from our healthcare system, going with the doctor every month or every week to see older people, elder people that live in the countryside. So they need to do that for the first 2 years, and then they can somehow choose a closer hospital to their home, and it will take some time until they can actually be in their favorite hospital, and they will specialize in the meantime. Yes. If they specialize, after 5 years, if they want to get a specialization, they will continue, and only after specialization is over, they will do the intern job going elsewhere. And if they live in Lisbon or Porto or Coimbra or in one of these big cities, they must do their first 2 years away from the big cities.
Are all of your medical schools public medical schools, or you have private also?
Medicine and pharmacy, only public school. Only. We want to have the control of the quality of studies. It is something that is now being studied, a project that was presented at our assembly by private universities. They want to have medicine and pharmacy, but it is still being studied and not yet approved. So we'll see.
One of the biggest challenges will be it makes the cost of public education go up in medicine once you start putting those private schools in.
It's a challenge for all kind of courses. In Portugal, we start studies with elementary school, 4 years. Then we have high school, 5 years, and these are mandatory. These are compulsory studies in the country nowadays. And then we can decide to go to technical courses or university. Along our studying life, we are being classified, let's say. So, not with elementary school is fine, then we go to high school. And at the end of high school, we'll be having a grade in a scale. Our scale goes from 0 to 20. This is a system, I have to explain it this way. So, along my 5 years of high school, depending on how good I am, I'll try to get as high grade on the scale as possible. My aim is to get to the end of high school with something over 16 on a scale from 0 to 20, right? Then, to access universities, at the end of high school, I need to make another extra year. And after that extra year, at the end of that extra year, I have another grade given. Then I have to make a special exam to enter the university. And another grade is coming. So then